So Oleksandr Usyk has given his take on Tyson Fury's recent performance against Francis Ngannou, and he believes that Tyson Fury will be different if and when they fight. Now, hopefully, we don't have to wait too long to find out. This has been a very frustrating saga, and hopefully, we do get the fight in the next few months. But I'm going to focus on what Oleksandr Usyk says in this article on Boxing Scene. So he talks about Tyson Fury, and I quote, "I think that Tyson Fury underestimated Francis Ngannou. He will be different with me. I think he'll make some conclusions after his last fight. But again, I absolutely don't care about how he'll behave. What I care for is how I will behave. Ngannou did a good job in the gym, then showed a good level in the ring. Very few people believed in Ngannou. Even when I was asked about him, I replied that he's not enough." Now, Usyk talks about Fury. He says, "He is big, complicated, strong, but I'm slightly smaller and I have an incredible motivation. And I'm hungry for boxing. I'm not motivated by money. I don't care about material things. I care for the path that I follow. I was working for this for 20 years, and I think that in February we'll hear the bell." End quote. So those are the words of Oleksandr Usyk talking about Tyson Fury, as well as his motivation. And so, yeah, I want to kind of give my take, because I absolutely agree with Oleksandr Usyk, and I'm sure many of you do, that Tyson Fury underestimated Francis Ngannou. There are a lot of people trying to rationalize and look into Tyson Fury's performance, and I've heard a lot of people come up with theories and explanations that do definitely have some merit. But I think it just really came down to Tyson Fury underestimating Francis Ngannou, because look at the dynamic that has been surrounding Tyson Fury for a while now. And that is not only himself, not only his immediate team and circle and family members, but also the wider boxing public, many of them proclaiming Tyson Fury to be the best heavyweight, not only of this generation, but also of all time. And now Tyson Fury is a seemingly very naturally confident character. He has a lot of faith in his ability, and of course he's a fantastic fighter as well. But if you just consider that he's going in against this boxing debutant, yes, someone who's experienced in combat sports, but someone who's come from a different realm, He is a boxing novice, Francis Ngannou, despite being an experienced combatant. Tyson Fury, of course, being a very experienced boxer, someone who's fought at the highest level for a long time. And on top of that, he's naturally confident, believes a lot in his ability, and now everyone around him is saying, "You're the best. You're the guy at the top of the tree. You're in the same conversation as the guys, the legendary fighters of yesteryear." Tyson Fury, how is he supposed to get up and train as hard as he's supposed to, and leave it all in the gym, then perform on the night against this debutant? He's not going to do that. It's really quite simple, I think. I could be wrong, but I just see it as Tyson Fury underestimating Francis Ngannou and maybe becoming a bit flustered, a bit panicked, because that's what can happen. When you believe with certainty that you're just going to be able to have your way with someone in a fight, and all of a sudden they start to put up a bit more resistance than you expect, catching you with some shots, making you look a bit silly, not falling for your tricks, even though you're supposed to be this master boxer, this heavyweight Mayweather, and it starts to backfire. Oh, we get knocked down in round 3. That can really spoil a few plans. And I believe that's what happened. I believe Tyson Fury got caught out that night. He probably didn't dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and maybe cut a few corners, and mentally probably wasn't prepared. And it's come to bite him on the backside. However, since this Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight has obviously been and happened and gone, a lot of people it seems like they've changed their minds, or maybe they've doubled down. And now for a while now, I believe, this is my opinion, my prediction, I've been picking Oleksandr Usyk to beat Tyson Fury. Not because I dislike Tyson Fury. Yeah, I don't agree with some of the things he does, but I'm able to put that to one side and look at it stylistically. I just think that stylistically, Usyk is a dangerous fight for Fury. But I could 100% understand and see how Tyson Fury could beat Usyk. That's why I want to see the fight, because I don't see it as being a gimme for either man. I see it as very competitive. I just happen to favour Usyk slightly. But people have asked me how I see that potential fight and what I predict since Fury's fight with Ngannou. And I'm still picking Usyk. You know, spoiler alert, I'm still picking Usyk. However, I actually think Fury has a bigger chance, a better chance to beat Usyk, given his performance against Ngannou. And I know some people see Fury as being on the slide now, and this shows that he's, time has caught up with him and he's on his way out of boxing. And I see that, I agree. However, just because someone's on the slide, it doesn't mean they can't still bring out a good, effective performance. They absolutely can. And I think that's what Tyson Fury may do. I agree that he's probably on the slide and we've definitely seen the best of him. But I think Tyson Fury, he's had a bit of a wake-up call. He's not this omnipotent presence in the heavyweight division. He's just as vulnerable as all the other fighters. He just happens to be a belt holder. And on top of that, so he's had this this reminder that he isn't invincible. But also, I believe that he's always perceived Usyk as being more of a threat anyway. And you can just look at how Fury has conducted himself surrounding a potential Usyk fight, where he hasn't been particularly willing to step in the ring with Usyk. And I think it's because he sees Usyk as a legitimate threat. Now, that's just my interpretation, but looking at his actions, I see it quite clearly. And for that reason, I think where he's had this wake-up call and he perceives Usyk as more of a threat than someone like Ngannou, we're going to see Tyson Fury up the ante a bit more, not cut as many corners, because he sees it as a very likely possibility that he loses this fight and maybe even loses comprehensively. Who knows? So, yeah, I'm still siding with Usyk, but I think, I've kind of reassessed and I think Tyson Fury will be better than I predicted he would be. And obviously this is on the basis that this fight happens in, the foreseeable future and hopefully the next couple of months. But all we can do is wait and see. Usyk also talks about his motivation, and he talks about he has an incredible motivation. He's hungry for boxing. He's not motivated by money or materialistic goods, and I tend to agree with that. I don't know Oleksandr Usyk. All I can do is judge him by, what he says, but more so what he does, and what he has done throughout the course of his career. It seems to align pretty well with that, whereby he's been interested, he's been motivated to achieve. The money's going to come along and he doesn't want to get paid peanuts for taking big risks, but he's taken a lot of risks. There have been very few barriers and kind of stalling points when it comes to working with Usyk, it seems. Always willing to travel to another guy's backyard, take his title, take the show on the road, next guy. And it really is quite extraordinary. You have to give him a lot of credit because it's something that many fighters aren't willing to do these days. So I absolutely agree. I think Usyk is motivated by something a bit greater than money or materialistic goods. Not that, look, I don't have an issue. I'm not one of these boxing fans who's, this guy just wants to fight for money, You're the one getting punched in the face. If you want to fight to get paid, be my guest. But what we see is when guys are motivated by money, it becomes a matter of high risk or high reward, low risk, and we don't necessarily get the fights we want to see. But with Oleksandr Usyk, I think you've got to give him credit because he's been going above and beyond to achieve great things, so making history, but also giving us entertaining fights, He talks about kind of Tyson Fury. He gives a brief assessment. He says he's big, complicated and strong. But he says, I'm slightly smaller and I have incredible motivation, blah, blah, blah. I've spoken about this before. People, I think they get a bit lost in the whole, Tyson Fury's 6'9", he's such a massive heavyweight, blah, blah, blah. Didn't you guys see Tyson Fury next to Usyk in like the Ngannou fight week? The size difference wasn't as big. Like I think people make out that Oleksandr Usyk is like just barely breaking 6 foot and Tyson Fury's touching 7 foot. That's not the case. Don't get me wrong, it's clear that Tyson Fury has the size advantage. But I've addressed before that size advantage, it's not a linear thing whereby the bigger you are, the better you are. You know, there are advantages that come with being smaller if you understand the dynamic and how to use that size. Because you can't tell me that Oleksandr Usyk, yeah, he's the smallest guy at the top level of heavyweight, but he's the most coordinated. He's got the best balance, the best footwork, probably the most elusive, probably got better stamina and work rate. He's accurate, he's agile, and that's not going to necessarily be the be-all and end-all. The bigger guys certainly have strengths over him, but you start to see it's not just, oh, small is inferior, big is superior. It's not that simple. But ultimately, like, I'm not just saying this because I have some kind of undying allegiance towards Oleksandr Usyk. Yeah, I think he beats Tyson Fury, but what I think and what the reality is can be two very different things. You know, it is my opinion that Usyk beats Fury, but that's only the start of it. That's not the be-all and end-all. That is, I think Usyk will beat Fury, but I want to see the fight. Because firstly, it's a meaningful fight. And secondly, it's actually going to show us who is the best. So that's the difference between objective observers and fanboys. Fanboys think this guy's the best, therefore he doesn't have to fight anyone. Whereas objective observers think, I suspect this guy's the best, but I want to see him prove it. I want to see him fight this guy, fight the next guys, fight his mandatories, fight the top contenders. And if he wants to prove he's the best, he's going to have to do it. Not proclaiming someone to be the best of a generation and of all time before they've done even a fraction of the work of the fighters of yesteryear to be considered in that same argument, that same conversation. That's silly. And that's, in a large respect, is damaged boxing. Because everyone has gassed up Tyson Fury, and then he's gone in against Francis Ngannou, and it makes boxing look silly. It makes boxing look like a dying sport, a no-hope sport, when that's not the case. Tyson Fury is one fighter in a very stacked division. Heavyweight is not this drab, dying show that everybody thinks it is. It's a division, and for many years now, I want to say the past 8 years has been stacked. There are loads of different styles, loads of different personalities, loads of different matchups that can be made that are going to provide entertainment. They're going to provide big results, big finishes, drama, you know, high level boxing. But people don't see it. They just, oh, Tyson Fury's the best. Everyone's rubbish. And it shows that everyone's rubbish because Francis Ngannou, a debutant, has gone in and made Tyson Fury look silly. Nah. This is the kind of damage that gets done when you start proclaiming people to be the best before they've proven it. Anyway, I'm beating this horse to death right now. These are just my thoughts. What do you think? Do you, like me, believe that Tyson Fury will be much better in a potential fight against Oleksandr Usyk? And let me know your views on that fight, especially after Tyson Fury's fight with Ngannou. Leave it in the comment section below. I'll get back to you. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you in the next video.